Yo, what's up everybody, it's your boy Elvius Void coming in with a new series on the channel, which is What If Naruto Was Muichiro Tokito. So this What If is a Demon Slayer What If again, and this is going to be an overpowered type Naruto, as Muichiro from Demon Slayer was an absolute prodigy, as well as having the mist breathing, which is arguably one of the strongest breathing styles, even if it is a derivative of, another derivative of sun breathing. But still, he'll be very strong in this What If. And there is another thing I'll be also changing, and this is about Minato. Minato will not have blonde hair, but instead would have black hair with some light blue, just around his hair as well. So that will also be a change, and this is going towards Naruto's appearance when Naruto is born. So yeah, before we get into this What If, I'd like everyone watching to hit that like button and that subscribe button, and leave a comment in the description if you want any other powers for anybody else in the series, as well as other What Ifs that you would recommend so I can make. I'll probably make them as well. So yeah, let's just get right into this What If. We start this What If with the birth of Naruto. Naruto again will be the son of Kushina and Minato, and being birthed in an off-site location from the leaf, as they don't know what could happen with Kushina and the Nine-Tailed Seal, as it does get weakened during birth. With Naruto being born, he would look exactly like Muichiro, who also, looks like Minato at this point, and when instead not having light blue little strands of hair all over his head, he would just have them on the ends of his hair, so it would look like Muichiro. With the same thing happening with Obito, aka Madara Uchiha, coming in and taking Naruto hostage and telling Minato to give him either the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, which is Kushina, his wife. With Minato not wanting to give either his son or Kushina, he would again save Naruto, but Kushina would be taken away. And Obito, aka Madara Uchiha, would do the extraction of the Nine-Tails, placing it in a summoning pact, and then summoning it in the middle of the village. Kushina would in fact be very weakened by this, and Minato would come to face off with Obito, while the rest of the leaf is dealing with the Nine-Tails at this moment. With Minato and Obito fighting, the same thing would happen in the original, with Obito losing towards Minato and retreating, and the Nine-Tails getting out of the pact with Obito. With Minato now going towards to seal the Nine-Tails or to defeat it somehow, he would go off and he would take Naruto, who when flashing into another building, taking Naruto and flashing towards where Kushina is in the Nine-Tails, so that they could probably seal the Nine-Tails in Naruto, as Minato wants the leaf to still have the power of the Nine-Tails, and will now then seal, like the original, half of the Nine-Tails into Naruto. So yeah, with Minato and Kushina dying, like the original, with the Nine-Tails stabbing through Minato and Kushina, Naruto would then be orphaned at a very young age, and again, would still have half of the Nine-Tails. We'll skip 4 years. During this time in the 4 years, Naruto would be taken care of by the orphanage. I don't know if that's like the original, but he would just be in the orphanage, and on his 4th birthday, during this time, Hiruzen, the 3rd Hokage, wouldn't be able to keep the information tight to his side that Naruto is the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, and Danzo would reveal that Naruto is the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki to the village as a way to, make Naruto's life a living hell, so that he can maybe get him into the root after, messing with him after a while. With that news coming out, the orphanage, the head of the orphanage doesn't want Naruto to be around all the other children, as again she feels hate towards Naruto, as she thinks that Naruto is the demon itself, and it doesn't understand what seals are, and doesn't understand that Naruto is just the jailer of the Nine-Tails. With the orphanage head kicking Naruto out and telling the Hokage that she will not have him with all the other children, he would get put off into his own home, like his original house. Naruto, with his personality, he would be very kind and compassionate and optimistic towards everybody, just like how Naruto is in the original. and would always aim that if you do good to others, that others would be good to him, and he would have that personality until his 8th birthday. During his 8th birthday, he would then go into the ninja academy, wanting to be a ninja and do good for the village, as he thinks that the village is his home. With coming into the academy on his 8th birthday, as that's when the academy starts, during like the, it would be near the end of the year, as the other genin have already passed the exam and would go off to become actual genin. With them coming in for like nearly the end of the year, they would get introduction to all the other people in the class, and the class would be the original class with, you know, Hinata, Sasuke, and their teacher Iruka, as well as the other teacher Mizuki. We'll now skip to the end of the year, as nothing really happens in this except for Naruto still being a kind and compassionate person. But instead of being the loudmouth type of person, he would somewhat be a prodigy with using the ninja arts, as well as in fighting and all that stuff, but still wouldn't be extremely strong, instead be on the upper skill level of the class, nearing towards what Sasuke is, but still is not as strong as him, still being, you know, an 8-year-old. We'll skip now to halfway through the 2nd year of school at the Ninja Academy. During this time, Iruka would say that they're going outside to fight one of the teachers, as they want to see their skill progression using taijutsu in practice. All the students before him, like Kiba, Hinata, they would all fight Iruka, and Iruka, still going easy on them, as he is still tuning, would beat them, but would see that they are progressing at a very high rate, as, you know, Kiba, Hinata, Ino, not Sakura, but all the families that are from prominent clans in Konoha, he would see a massive upgrade in their skills, as their clans are teaching them taijutsu, as they would obviously have a leap ahead of all the other students that aren't from prominent clans in the school. Going up to Naruto's turn, as Naruto is still optimistic and compassionate about everything, having a smile on his face, Mizuki would offer to take Naruto in on a 1v1. With Naruto and Mizuki doing the hand seals to start a fight, Naruto would leap at Mizuki, and Mizuki would play around with him, still hating Naruto's guts, as he believes that Naruto is, you know, the Nine Tails. During this fight, Mizuki would absolutely pummel Naruto, but to the point where Iruka doesn't stop it, as he's just thinking that they're having an actual fight, and Naruto's just getting up over and over again. Mizuki would want to injure Naruto so badly that he doesn't want to get up at this point, and would aim for his temple. He would kick Naruto's temple, knocking him out, and that would permanently change his personality. With Naruto now being knocked out on the floor, the class would start to laugh at how badly Naruto lost, and Mizuki would smirk to himself. Iruka, on the other hand, would be absolutely livid with the situation that's happening right now. He looks at Mizuki and sees him smirking, as Naruto is on the ground unconscious, with blood dripping out of his nose, as well as blood dripping out of where his temple is and where he got hit by Mizuki. He would immediately rush with Naruto towards the hospital and get him treated. Naruto would be in a coma for a week. With the third Hokage hearing about this, he would go and investigate the situation and find out that Mizuki, at this time, hates Naruto and has an absolute hatred towards Naruto, and is purposely changing his tests so that he does get lower marks, and is changing all his practical tests, like the Shuriken flowing, to get him a lower mark during the class. And other teachers there as well, who also are helping in the situation. He would find out after the investigation that these teachers are corrupt and their hatred towards Naruto, and would subsequently punish them severely, changing all their ranks from Chunin or Jonin, depending on what their rank is, to a Genin, straight back to Genin, and they would have to go through all the original type of tasks during the next 4 years to become where they were before, and would also have more subsequent punishments, like doing more D ranks than anybody else. They would be embarrassed by the situation, and we tried to learn from it, but you know, Mizuki wouldn't do that. Mizuki would still be in the one of the teachers of the class, as he believes that Mizuki could change after this severe punishment, as no one likes to be a genin, as well as doing many D ranks. And this is all towards in the 1 week investigation where Naruto is still in a coma. With Naruto, after a week, waking up, the third Hokage can see a massive difference in Naruto's personality and the actual air around him. Naruto seems to be a bit airheaded and seems to not remember anything that happened before this, having severe memory loss. Another week, Naruto and the third Hokage would spend together, with the third Hokage trying to jog some of Naruto's memories, but with no avail. Naruto seems to constantly wander off in thought, and is unable to focus on anything happening around him, and would constantly wander off in the village, ending up at some random place, and having to be escorted by one of the Anbu back to the third Hokage's estate, or the Hokage Tower itself, or back to his house. Naruto, after another week of the third Hokage, as well as some doctors trying to figure out why Naruto lost all his memories, as well as his sudden personality change, would go back to the academy. Come back in the academy, everyone is shocked by Naruto's sudden emotional type of change. With Naruto, who is never letting his emotions guide him, he basically wanders around the classroom, finding a seat near the back, and would start to doze off, not really bothering to remember anything or listen to the teachers in front of him, namely being Iruka. Naruto also during this time at this year would start to pick up the sword and would be an absolute prodigy with his swordsman skills, being one of the strongest in the Leaf with swordsman skills, as Naruto during the next 4 years of the academy, during his when he's 13, when they usually end the academy and go into Genin, during this last year, Naruto would start to make different breathing styles. That would be the breath of the mist. With Naruto starting to make up the breath of the mist, he would start to figure out different forms, and would make 7 forms of the breath of the mist on his last year of the academy. During these 4 years of the academy, Naruto would be getting number 1 in all of the tests, being that of the actual education tests and physical tests outside in the training grounds of the academy. Naruto would be able to immediately disarm or knock out any of the opponents that are in front of him, as well as Iruka, and Mizuki would be banned from ever fighting with Naruto. But after seeing how easily he demolished Iruka during all the fights, as well as some with his classmates, you would see that Naruto's skills had grown exponentially after him not becoming optimistic, and him being an absolute prodigy in all the ninja arts. Naruto would also be able to perform the 3 jutsus that would pass as a Genin test, which is the clone jutsu, the substitution jutsu, as well as the transformation jutsu. Naruto would be able to easily control his chakra, as he is an absolute prodigy in all the arts that he does during all of his academy days, with all the ninja arts being performed with ease and not much chakra consumption, even though he does have an enormous amount of chakra. For the last year of the academy, which is the end of the year, Naruto would want to become a ninja earlier during that last year, not taking the actual exam with the other classes, with his other classmates, and would go to ask Iruka if he can actually do it, as we know that Naruto did fail on his 3rd time, which is the end of the year, so we can come to an assumption that on the last year, Naruto at all the times during the year was able to take the test. We'll start off with nearing the beginning of the year, which is the last year. Naruto would take the test and would be easily able to pass the Genin test, and would then go on to become, a Genin. Because he's passing this without any of his classmates, Naruto wouldn't have any teammates during this time, and would go off and have a random Jonin sensei. We'll say that the sensei, is just some random guy. We'll call him Kokoshibo as his, his Jonin sensei. It's not actually Kokoshibo, but it's just a random name that. I just thought that would make sense. So yeah, Kokushibo would be a swordsman in the village, and Naruto, because of the third Hokage wanting Naruto to continue in the arts of swordsmanship, as Naruto seems to very much enjoy swordsmanship, would ask Kokushibo to basically be a mentor to him during this year, so that at the end of the year, when Naruto does, with all his teammates, pass the Genin exam, would be able to go on a team with them, and also have amass skills to help with the missions as well. This is a lot of bias because of the third Hokage, as the third Hokage still sees Naruto as a type of grandson, as it is his successor's son. So he would do all this for Naruto, even though with any other student this wouldn't happen, and they would just go into the, a random team during the upper, the teams that passed before him the year before. Naruto and Kokushibo would then start to practice their swordsmanship, and Naruto would show off his different breathing styles, that being the first form, low clouds, distant haze, which Naruto just unleashes a very powerful thrust attack towards Kokushibo, with Kokushibo having to try to dodge, but would obviously be hit, but not impaled by Naruto, as he knows some restraint during this time. Naruto is still an airhead, basically wandering off all the time, with his teacher having to constantly try to find him and bring him back to the training grounds, as Naruto is just unwavering during this entire situation, and would constantly just not listen and just move around as he pleases, seeing that he is still he's got a cocky personality, but he doesn't have any care in the world, basically just wandering around all the time. During this year as well, Naruto is able to perfectly perform all 7 forms of the Breath of the Mist, and this is about the same age, 13 years old, that Muichiro was in Demon Slayer, because he was 14, so you'd probably have you'd probably have the same type of skill, but would have a much more power output, as all this is being amped by chakra. Because as well, during this year, the third Hokage would gift Naruto a sword, and that would be a Nichiren blade, but it wouldn't have any proper properties. It would just be a regular sword, but it would be built by a master swordsmith, being one of the strongest and best swords in the village at that time, probably being the best sword at that time. With Naruto touching the sword would turn I don't even know what color sword Muichiro is. You can leave that in the comments, because I can't find it anywhere. But yeah, that sword will turn that color. With the end of the year now coming, and the rest of Naruto's classmates are now passing the exams, Naruto would come back into the classroom for the team orientation. Mizuki wouldn't be trying to get the scroll of sealing, as during that last year, Mizuki has tried to steal the scroll of sealing, as he doesn't have any scapegoat like Naruto to be there to take the scroll for himself. And so when he tried to take the scroll of sealing, he was immediately caught and subsequently imprisoned for life for treason against the village. With Naruto coming back into the classroom, the other classmates of Naruto would wonder why he's there, and thought that he already passed the exam, with Kiba smirking and laughing, telling Naruto that he's a loser, that he's not an actual Genin and has to come with the rest of the class. Naruto wouldn't really care and would wander past him, sitting down in one of the back seats like he usually does during the time that he was in class with Kiba and stuff. Haruka would tell the class that Naruto has been in an apprenticeship by a random jonin, and now that the rest of the class has caught up to him during this year and actually have passed the exam, he's able to go in a team with them now, as there were no extra teams for Naruto to be placed in when he actually passed. With the teams now being the same as the original, because Sasuke, is the best in the class during that year, as Naruto wasn't there, and Sakura was the best in the class, there as well, Naruto would be placed in with Team 7, which is, Sasuke and Sakura, as Naruto didn't have any scores during that year, and passed immediately at the start of the year, so he would be ranked as the lowest scoring person of that year, and would be put into Team 7. With Team 7 still having Kakashi as their sensei, Naruto would also get word that Kokushibo had died during a mission. So, you know, Kokushibo is not there anymore. And is now just Team 7. Naruto, you know, because he doesn't really, he did get some sympathy and sadness towards Kokushibo's death, but still, he has that short-term memory loss, so he just doesn't remember anything that happened, and didn't really have a lot of connection towards Kokushibo at all. And you know, he kept on forgetting everything that happened towards each of them. With all the other teams being collected by the Jonin Sensei, Naruto and Team 7 would have to wait for an extra 3 hours as Kakashi still hasn't arrived. After 3 hours had gone, Kakashi had arrived, shunning into the place, not going through the door, and would tell the Team 7 to meet him on the top of the roof, as he wants to get an orientation of who they are and what their goals and stuff is, and would tell him to meet him on the top of the building, on the rooftop. With him shunning away, going up to the top of the building, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura would start to wander back up to the rooftop and would be met with Kakashi, who was sitting down waiting for them. With Kakashi saying that he wants their goals, name, and their likes and dislikes, Sakura would ask for Kakashi to explain and do it first. With, you know, Kakashi just telling them his name, Kakashi Hatake, and not telling him any of his likes, dislikes, goals, and ambitions and all that. With Sakura then going next, she would say her name was Sakura Haruno, and would say her likes are looking at Sasuke and giggling, her dislikes yelling "Ino pig," and her goals and ambitions, and she looks at Sasuke again, giggling, with a massive pink on her face. Oh, you know, as well as her hair. Sasuke would have the same goals, saying that he likes not really anything, he hates a lot of things, and his goals and ambitions is to kill a certain man that wronged him in the past. He would go and ask Naruto for his one, and he would say his name is Naruto Uzumaki, and he wouldn't say anything more, as he originally forgotten what he was doing here in the first place, forgot what he was asked, and Kakashi as well as Team 7 would have a massive sweat drop, as this is the typical Naruto, as he doesn't really, as he always forgets what he's doing, except for, you know, if he's in a mission or whatnot. With Kakashi saying that they are not proper Genin yet, and would have to go and do the Genin test, they would tell Team 7 that tomorrow there would be the proper Team 7 Genin test. It's not anything before, and he would shun away. With Naruto again, not really listening, but you know, he understood what's happening. He would just wander off again, with Sasuke and Sakura seeing this and wondering if Naruto would be okay, as you know, he just wanders off all the time and doesn't seem to remember anything. We'll skip to the next day, with Naruto, who didn't listen to Kakashi's advice, still ate his breakfast as well as an extra meal, which is a light snack, wandering down to where Team 7 was supposed to meet at the proper time. With Naruto meeting there, he sees Sakura and Sasuke there waiting for him, and he sits down again, waiting for those 3 hours that Kakashi is still yet to arrive. With Kakashi arriving, he would say that the team test will be a survival test, and that it will be them 3 versus him to get these 2 bells, and he would jingle the bells in front of Team 7. Naruto, seeing this, would just walk up to Kakashi and look closely at these bells, and would just grab one with a swift grab, taking one of the bells, and then saying that he's already got the bell, and he walks off, sitting down underneath a tree, and would say that they can start the test now if they wanted. With Kakashi seeing nothing really troublesome about this, he would start the alarm, which is the 1 hour alarm that he brought along, and Team 7 would then start to try and get the bells, that being Sasuke and Sakura. Because, you know, the personality of the Muichiro, which is, you know, he doesn't really care about a lot of things, but does have a sympathy towards stuff. He would seem impassive during this entire test, as he's just sitting there with his bell, with the bell in in his hand, and he'd watch as Sasuke and Sakura tried to get the last bell. With the timer done and Sasuke and Sakura not able to get the second bell that Kakashi had, they would be angered that him and Uchiha Elite did not get the bell, and that Sakura is now not going to be able to be in a team with either Sasuke, as they're going to have to go back to the academy, and there's no 100% guarantee that she'd still be in a team with Sasuke during the next year. With Kakashi bringing Naruto back to where the Team 7 are, he would tell them that they can have a second chance, or Naruto can just pass by himself. Naruto, who seems, airheaded about this whole situation and impassive about the entire thing, says that he doesn't care, and he just throws the bell towards Sasuke and then Sakura in the middle of them, and then walks up to Kakashi again, seeming impassive during this whole interaction with him, and would just grab the other bell from Kakashi's waist and would throw the other bell back to Naruto and Sasuke, saying that they have the bells and that they can go now. He doesn't want to be here at this moment, as it just seems boring, and he wanders off, not caring for what Kakashi is telling him. He wanders off again, sitting down next to a log where he sees 3 different lunchboxes and starts to eat. With Kakashi seeing that Naruto had given the bells to Sasuke and Sakura, sorry, I made the mistake earlier saying Naruto, he would pass Team 7, saying that because Naruto's expertise, skills at being a ninja, and his strength, be able to, just either just walk up and grab something off him in an instant without him being able to react to it, that they can pass the Genin exams. This is also from pressure from the council to pass Sasuke, as well as pressure from the third Hokage to pass Naruto, as Naruto was already a ninja participating in D-rank missions, as well as some other missions with later teams with his sensei Kakashi. So yeah, that's why they are now Team 7, with them officially becoming Team 7, and Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura then going to do the normal D-rank missions that normal Genin do. Naruto would be pretty bored with all this silly nonsense doing D-rank missions, and Sasuke would also be a little annoyed as his skills as a ninja are being wasted, and he isn't being able to be trained properly by his sensei, and he wants to be able to gain experience through stronger and more dangerous missions. The third Hokage would agree to this, saying that that they can participate in a C-rank mission, which is to protect the bridge builder Tazuna, with Tazuna then coming into the room drunk as a skunk, and then going on to rant off on why these little Genin aren't going to be able to protect them, saying that Sakura looks too weak and frail, and Sasuke looks, a little bit too emo, and Naruto just looks out of it. He's not even focusing on whatever they're saying, instead staring at a picture on the wall, and that picture is of Minato Namikaze. He can see that there is some resemblance between them two, but as soon as he walks away after agreeing to take the mission, he forgets all about that, and then begins to wander around back to the gate of Konoha to begin on their mission. This is where I'm going to leave it off, everybody. I hope you guys like it. I didn't post yesterday, but that's because, I was trying to learn up on all the different techniques of Breath of the Mist, as well as Muichiro's personality, and how we actually became, how we got to have that type of personality, and how it changed. A lot of changes that we'll be doing because of this, and a lot of people will die and a lot of people will be saved during this series. So yeah, if you want to see part 2, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe button, and yeah, I'll see you guys later.